Tony D and Little Jones asleep on the couch, and this is. I was gonna make a screenwriter's rant, but I figured I give everybody a white pill because they seem so depressed. Um, so, by the way, Three Musketeers is coming out again. It's being made by a French outfit. It looks pretty good. Making two movies, and one's going to emphasize D'Artagnan, the other one's going to emphasize Milady, and it looks really good. And I got to thinking, like, France in 1627, there's some wild times there. Even wild times when, how do you say it? Alexander, I guess, Dumas, was writing this in the 1800s. You know, there was still a lot of intrigue there. And there's always a lot of political intrigue, is what I came away with. And I know this is only historical fiction, but it's the same sort of thing. Like, there's always something going on, you know. And I've said in my videos before about the Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. We're in interesting times. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But for those of you who are younger, it looked just as bleak sometimes in the past, depending on who you were. You know, in the 80s, a lot of people romanticize the past. I think that's a dangerous thing to do. You know, I remember the 80s. I had a lot of complaints, as I often did. I complained about movies. I complained about the government. I just had different ones. Yeah, to some extent, I look back and I go, oh, geez, I complained about that. That seems stupid now. But there's always something to complain about, I guess, is the takeaway. And there's always something going on. I mean, in the 80s, it was Reagan invading Grenada. There was a big to-do in Lebanon. Blew up the Marine barracks there. Thought it was going to be World War III. We still had the Soviet Union. And, you know, Reagan said crazy things. Oh, God, he told the Soviets to tear down the wall. It's crazy. So, you know, it's all kind of relative. I know, things don't look good, but they didn't look good for the Three Musketeers. And they eventually came through. Eventually won. You know, you just don't know how things are going to play out. You know, I mean, I thought, oh, we're gonna crush in the midterms. We're gonna crush, and then when we didn't, I was like, oh, surprising. Same thing with the Walker thing. I thought, oh, Walker probably will win. He seems to be favored, and you can make other arguments, which I can't go into on YouTube, but watch my other videos for those kinds of statements. But the thing is, you know, you just gotta keep living your life, and you guys just try to keep doing the best you can do. That's all you can do. That's all you would do, even if the situations that upset everybody politically and in the news, even if these didn't exist. If we were back in the 80s, I guarantee you people would still have the same problems. Maybe they wouldn't be so hyper-focused on politics, although they kind of were. They were talking about Reagan nonstop. It was just at a different, I guess it was a different tenor, you know. They were always making fun of Reagan, that's for sure. You know, you think they made fun of Trump on Saturday Night Live. They did that to Reagan all the time. So, you know, I just, at this point, you do what you have to do. You know? You do what you have to do to survive. Just like the Three Musketeers did. Maybe you get into the fray if you're capable and you've got the means. Don't do nothing. But don't let it ruin your day. You know? You can't let it ruin your day. You know, I say to people, take back the school boards. You know, for me, I don't have I don't have a horse in that race. I don't have a kid. Lots of people do, though. You people should be very concerned about the school boards. I think. I mean, me, I can only be so concerned about it. I'm not an educator. I'm just a guy who writes crazy books about the Jersey Devil. So, but you don't have to do a whole lot. I mean, you got to vote. I don't understand people who don't vote, but they exist apparently. You could shoot an email to your representative every once in a while when you're mad about something. If you don't do at least those minimum basic things, you really shouldn't complain. You really should just not say anything about politics or about what's going on in the world because you're not participating. You got to be doing something. You can maybe say, well, I already run for office and I'm too busy to email my senator or whatever. I work in the news biz or whatever. That's another factor too, working in media. And there are a lot of good things that are happening. It looks like the JCPA won't be in the defense budget now, although the defense budget's still out of control. Looks like they won't make the vaccine mandated for the troops. That's positive. I had to remind my friend today. We took over the House, which is a big deal. And in California, the Republicans took the House. And that's a big deal. That's like a little mini United States. And although you've got a lot of Republicans who are not MAGA at all, they're very much rhinos and they're willing to sell you down the river, it's still possible to pressure these people if, again, you participate, you vote, you email or call. So it is possible to swing the vote either way. I mean, these people are politicians, they're scum. So until we get more and more populist types into Congress, into state houses, into the presidency, you just have to take it an election at a time. This one didn't go as great as we wanted it to, but everybody's acting like we lost. You got to take the victories where you can find. Another great victory is Elon Musk buying Twitter. That's kind of dissolving a big pillar in the big tech community. Everybody in Hollywood's been following Twitter down a rat hole for years. For years. Three Musketeers are always the same. For years, they've just been following Twitter. I mean, certainly Hollywood has. And now if they follow Twitter, it won't be as bad. And if they don't follow Twitter, hooray! Hooray! I don't know what they're going to follow now. I mean, I guess they could try to follow Mastodon. Good luck getting a pulse of the nation on that. Look, these things, these big institutions, whether they're private and have a ton of money, like Twitter. I mean, you see how long it's taken Elon to... he's digging out the rot there. He's firing people. And then, he gets backstabbed by this FBI lawyer who worked there. Did he even know? Boom. The moment, see, he's very decisive. The moment he found out, boom, he fired him. Boom. Could he have known before? I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. He might have been wary about firing him without any kind of fireable offense. I mean, maybe there's a lawsuit here now that his, what I would call malfeasance has been exposed. Maybe Elon will go after him. At the very least, he fired him. That's progress. The fact that Twitter is no longer a pillar for the regime, that's huge. It's absolutely huge. My engagement is way up on Twitter. I'm selling books. I'm selling books every day now. Need to sell more, but I'm selling books. That's an improvement. That's an improvement. So, you know, don't get too down. You know, I said last night in one of my videos that Disney is destroying itself, that all these icons are being destroyed. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's time for them to go. Maybe this is the only way they can go. I mean, these companies were going to just keep marching these characters out again and again and again. There'd be no reason to create new characters if they got this right. Think about it. If they had every sort of iconic character lined up, right? And they owned them all. And they just kept rotating them. That's what I do on the Webcomic Factory, by the way. You just keep rotating some of the old stuff into make new stuff. Yeah, as long as you own it, you're saving money while making money. I think that's what these companies see long term. But because corporate executives aren't very creative people, they're ruining it. They're caught up in a trend that does them a huge disservice and does the country a huge disservice, and they're destroying themselves. Good. Let them destroy themselves. Stop feeding them money. You know, if you're buying a subscription to Disney Plus, I get it. Maybe your kids like that, but maybe think about pulling the plug. You know, maybe think about doing something for real to not give these people your money. You know, if you're buying all these ridiculous toys because you're a toy nut or comic nut or whatever you're into, maybe just reevaluate your life and think about, maybe I shouldn't be collecting this stuff. Maybe I should stop, or at least stop at a certain point. You know, who cares how nice the toys are? Who cares how, you know, great, quote unquote, some of the merchandise is? It's just merchandise. Why were people buying it in the first place? Because the story was the thing. The story. And don't even get me started on how worthless I think Funko Pops are. God, I don't know why you buy them. They don't look like the characters. Nobody plays with the toys anymore. They just leave them in a box. You're buying boxes. They might as well be empty. They might as well be empty boxes with pictures on the side instead of, you know, clear plastic. I mean, that would be an improvement, actually. You just they could probably sell you the boxes cheaper. You know, just a weighted box. Oh, there feels like something's in here. See, it's sealed. I can't open it. So I can't know for sure. So, yeah, just... That's a weird line in a French movie, isn't it? Shooter! Shooter! There's an actual assassination attempt in this. All these guys with the crazy hats and the swords. But again, like the Three Musketeers, you know, you're in crazy times. But like the Three Musketeers, you can win. Or at least have a good time while you're doing it. You know, the Three Musketeers could have ended badly. They could have all died at the end. Still would have been a good movie. Or good story. Go down swinging. Go down legends. You know? At the very least, you'll be a good story for the future. An inspiration to people of the future. I mean, these guys weren't real, but they're kind of inspiring. Kind of like Robin Hood. Yeah. So, I mean, this is your white pill. And my white pill to you is relax. It's going to be fine. Yeah, do some things. But don't let it get to you. Relax. Perhaps relax with a good book, good story, like the Three Musketeers or the Pineys. Books 1 through 10 available at Amazon.com. Anyhow, that's it for me. Tony D. Real quick. I mean, 3 acts on the Three Musketeers. I mean, you know the story. D'Artagnan wants to join them, and then he ends up in a big to do, and you know, they're doing this like the real way. They're like digging deep to do this. I think there'll probably be a third movie, but right now they're just doing it as two, directed by Martin Burbolin. So it'll be a big plot about saving the queen and all this swashbuckling adventures. Here's my lady. And in the end, they win. So this is a positive movie. Go see a positive movie. You know, download something, watch something on the internet. Get out of your head. Don't get so caught up in the politics. You win some, you lose some. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. I hope this white pill has been, happy. Hope you're happy. If you're not, I don't know, eat some chocolate. That's what I do. We'll see you.